I've had this little picture frame for the longest time and I've never known what to put in it. Now, based on the shape, I'm pretty sure you can figure out what I'm actually going to draw. So I thought I'd do a little watercolour for this. I've got my watercolour paper here and I'm just going to break off a bit and just make a shape based on the frame. I'm just going to cut that out and then I'm going to be using either sticker paper or label paper to use as a mask. The frame's pretty simple. I can make the shape and then it just stays in there without slipping out. I thought I might actually have had to make it stay in there, but it actually holds it pretty steady. So first up, I wanted to test out these sticky labels and see if they work well with watercolours. So I'm just using the rest of the watercolour paper just as a test. And this is just some standard sticker paper that I've got, and as you can see, it is really hard to peel, and it's not until right at the very end that I decide to actually peel one whole strip in one go and then stick it on. The watercolours I'm using are Winsor & Newton and it's a set of 48. And I'm just putting them on in just random colours just to see how well that the different sticker paper works. And as you can see, it is actually the sticker paper that works the best. It has the cleanest lines, because with the sticky labels it did actually bleed underneath a little bit. So next up was cutting the sticky paper into strips, and then I'm just going to line it up and then just add the shape as I go. And I'll tell you, this was actually quite tricky. It was not the easiest thing to do and it kind of turned out a little bit wonky, but I kind of like that. It kind of looks really homemade, which is exactly what it is. I found that the sticker paper stuck to the watercolour paper really well without pulling up the threads of the actual paper, but when it sticks to itself it really sticks. So when I did a mistake it was really hard to peel it off and put it back on, but I did manage to get it to work, and like I said, it's a little bit wonky, but I don't know, I think it works. So if you haven't figured it out already, I'm obviously doing a D20 dice shape, and I had actually planned to do a 20 in the middle, but I just leave it like this, plain and just with watercolour over the top, and I just wanted to do like a nice little rainbow pattern. So moving on to the actual painting, I'm just testing out some of the colours, and there's really nothing to it here. I'm just adding the watercolour in and just blobbing it onto the paper. I wanted to make it a lot more saturated towards the centre and then added a bit more water to the outside so that it kind of blended outwards. I probably could have paid a bit more attention to the way I did this, you know, and made it a little bit better looking, but I'm actually pretty happy with the result. It kind of worked out in the way I'd hoped, so yeah, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. Obviously when you're using watercolours and you put two colours next to each other that are still wet, they're going to sort of drain into each other. I found that was kind of okay with the orange and the red together, but when I put the purple on the other side of the red, it kind of bled into it, and so there's not much of a distinction between those two colours, but again, it works and I'm happy with how it turned out. Putting the yellow on was a little bit more difficult because the orange immediately drained into it, and so I had to blot that off and then do it again, and then I add more yellow towards the end as well, because orange is a lot more of a dominant colour when it comes to the yellow But other than that, there's really not much to say about it. I'm not using any kind of special technique. I'm just blobbing the colour on, and yeah, there's really nothing to teach here. It's just adding colours and just seeing what I like. I think in hindsight I probably could have lightened up the blue and made the transition between blue and purple a little bit better, but you know, like I said, I just wanted this to be nice and sort of simple, kind of messy. Next up was peeling it off, and this was so satisfying, so satisfying. I did it nice and slow to make sure that I didn't rip any of the paper, but it did take off a little bit where the orange is. I didn't notice it at the time, but to be honest, I didn't go back and fix it because I thought I would make a complete mess of it if I touched it up. So I just sort of left it as it is. I don't know about you, but peeling masking paper and masking fluid off of watercolours is one of the most satisfying things, so I really took my time with this. And I was able to use that little sticker shape afterwards. I stuck it up on my cupboard and it looks like a nice little watercolour D20. I was going to add a 20 in the middle with like pen or something, but I decided against it. So now I'm bringing out my Finetec paints. These are absolutely delicious. I love them so much and I would highly recommend them to anyone. They are all metallic and they are just the most beautiful colours. They are fairly translucent, so from one angle you can't really see the paint, but then from another angle it flashes really brilliantly. So I just wanted to paint that within the white area and just to give it a little bit of dimension in case you look at the picture from different angles. So when I'm painting it on you can't really see it, but it does make a little bit of a difference if you get it at the right angle. Now the Finetec paints are a little bit expensive. I think that set was maybe around £20, but like I said, I would highly recommend them. I think they are absolutely gorgeous. So there's really nothing to it. That's it. That's a little design that I did, and it was a nice little afternoon project, and I think it looks really nice in the frame. I'm kind of happy with how it turned out. I love rainbows. I mean, red is my favorite color, but second to that, I love rainbows. So like, I've got a rainbow computer and I put rainbows everywhere. I've got a rainbow rug on the floor in my lounge room. I've got rainbows on my window, so when the sun shines in, it's all rainbow. So this was a pretty standard design for me. And that's it. I hope you really like it. I'm sorry I can't remember where I got the frame from, but I think if you Google it, you might be able to find something similar. Lovely little addition to my wall. I'm not sure if I'll keep it where it currently is because I'm currently redoing my sort of studio space, and you'll see that in an upcoming video where I redesign everything and just move stuff about. But for now, that's where I'm hanging it on my wall. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you in my next video.